Well, hello and welcome to For the Love of People. And it's a beautiful day, so we're outside and we are joined today by the amazing Iggy.
Hello.
Hi, Iggy. Thank you for joining us today.
It's my absolute pleasure. Before we begin, I fear.
Oh, I say. Oh, shall we?
Chardonnay Riesling blend, darling.
Oh, thank you.
Say when.
When.
Oh, yes, because you're driving, aren't you?
I'm driving.
Yes. There we go. I'm not. Stunning. Okay.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us in this little adventure we're doing
Thank
here.
you for having me.
So I met Iggy. What concert was it? It was a concert in church.
Yes, Matt Redwood was doing a vinyl set, and it was like a sand bath, and Darren was doing.
It was the Sunday sessions. It was the first one.
It was lovely,
wasn't it?
Mm.
And I was behind the bar in the church, like it's regular these days.
Slaying.
Slaying. That's what's I don't know what it means.
You're killing it.
I'm slaying it, man.
Slaying it.
Yeah, getting down the kids. And I saw you, and I just thought my honest first thought was, oh, he's handsome, isn't he? That's how it says. I said he's handsome, isn't he? To myself, because no one listens to me anyway. And then a bit later on, we got talking, and I have no idea how we clicked or when we clicked, but something just clicked, didn't it?
The vibes were up.
And Mike said that he knew you from where you work.
The Butcher's Dog.
From the Butcher's Dog,
Absolutely.
which is a pub where you worked part-time. And it went from there, really. And you just were very, very approachable. Not that you shouldn't be approachable. You were very easy to talk to. Very easy to talk to.
I try.
And we had a very little chat about, things, which we'll come on to in a minute. Lots of things, life, and church, and we'll come on to that again in a minute. And I don't know, we just kicked it off. And then I did mention, would you be interested in doing this? Oh my word, what's that? I hope it's not bird poo. It might be a squirrel.
There's no bird poo.
Okay. Well, let me know when it's running down my face.
Let you know. Let you know.
When it's dripping into my wine. Sorry.
Extra flavour, darling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's lovely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Where was I?
I came in.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. And Iggy very kindly agreed to join us for this interview. So, I have to be honest, I don't know very much about Iggy. I know some key things, some key information, but I'm really, really keen to learn more about Iggy and his life. And the caveat, I think they call it here, is that I'm going to try and be as correct as I am. But Iggy has been very, very kind to me and said not to worry if I make a mistake about gender. Of course. What's the word? Gender identity. Gender identity and everything. Because obviously I'm learning, and this is part of my journey too. And I want to learn more. And obviously this channel will hopefully help. But with the help of people like you, Iggy, who can explain what's going on. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are. If you can get anything from that, for me waffling.
You're so cute.
So thank you, Queen. Yeah,
Queen. Yeah.
Anyway, so Iggy, thank you for the wine, by the way. It's very, very nice. What is it again?
It's a Chardonnay Riesling blend.
Oh,
I believe it's Portuguese, but it is stunning.
Okay.
Is it Portuguese?
Juma.
Moldova.
Oh,
Moldova.
Very, very
best wine we've
European. Oh, lovely.
Very European.
Very European. Cheers. So let's start at the very beginning.
Very good place to start.
I'm going. Okay. So Iggy, how about a little bit about your background, where you're from, family background?
Okay. So I was born in Yeovil and then moved from Yeovil. Grew up in Weymouth until about the age of 16. Hellhole, by the way. Never go. Terrible.
Sorry, Weymouth.
I'm not. Anyway, moved in to Dorchester about 16 years old. That was in Poundbury, Dorchester.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Lovely late father who passed away May 2023.
Right. Oh, gosh.
And then after that, I moved to Bournemouth. Did some uni, did a foundation art and degree design.
Wow.
Yeah, it was during COVID though, so it was not really wasn't really the vibe.
No,
didn't really pick it up.
No.
But it was good fun.
Okay.
And then I just started working full time, and then kept working full time. Worked in a corporate space for about 3 years ish.
Okay.
Ish, probably. Which was absolutely diabolical. They didn't really. I've always been a little bit eccentric, shall we say.
No, I find that hard to believe. Yeah. But I love you the way you are.
Rude.
Yeah. That's a shame though. But yeah, so they weren't that good.
No, I mean, they were just very stuck in their ways. They weren't very open, very judgy. And, you know, whilst allowances were made for me, especially when sort of dad passed and things like that, I never really felt like, I always felt like trying to build a relationship there was always very fake.
Okay.
And partly because I wasn't out yet at one point, and partly because they weren't my tribe, they weren't my people.
Okay, yeah.
God bless them there.
Yeah.
You know, live your peace, do what you do, live your life.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah.
I just hope they find peace, genuinely. Anyway, I came out probably after. So I did an MMA fight whilst I was working there.
Right.
And that's the night I figured out I was trans. And I was like, oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was in. This is such a roundabout way.
This is
Stop me if you want.
No, carry on.
So I did a charity MMA fight in memory of my dad.
Is it fight?
Yeah, like baba.
You are a fighter.
No. I failed miserably. I had an asthma attack during the second round.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it was hilarious.
But you wanted to be a fighter.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'll try it.
The depths of you, I tell you.
I've lived a various amount of lives.
Oh, you must be about 83 by now.
Honestly, I feel it. My knees. Good Lord.
So you were in a fight. Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah.
And then it was after the fight. I had lost miserably. I was like, well, this sucks. And I was obviously kind of pissy about it. Yeah. I was like, well. And then I was getting changed. Obviously, there were very few women there. It was the majority were men. So I was like, okay. And that evening, I was like, I was watching all these guys get changed. It sounds creepy, but I promise it's not. Promise. I was thinking, oh God, wish I looked like that. And I went, ooh,
revelation. Yeah.
Clocked. I was like, what do you mean? Do I wish I looked like that? And I was like, that's crazy. I'm going to put a pin in that.
Wow. Not literally.
Not literally.
That would have been painful. Sorry.
That's funny.
Sorry.
No notes. No notes. And then I spoke to my therapist about it, and I was like, yeah, I just don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel like I'm a man doing drag. And I was like,
wow.
Clocked again.
Okay.
Clocked my own tea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I am what I am. And I was weirdly really calm about it. And I was like,
so did you think you were like regular gay? I'm sorry.
Regular gay?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No. So I was like super femme at the time, like hyper feminized, tits up to my like chin.
Right.
Like,
wow.
The girly was girling.
Okay.
Hair was long, lashes on. And yeah, it was just drag basically. So it was a very dramatized, everything I did, like from the way I behaved, from the way I dressed, my hair, my makeup, everything was very performative.
Okay. Was that on purpose though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought everyone was like that. I was like, oh, every girl does this.
Okay.
Of course.
Right, yeah.
And they do to a certain extent, but to the level I was doing it at was
extreme.
Extreme.
Okay.
It was like, how do I fit into this perfect mold where no one's gonna be like, are you insane? Because I've always been this way. I've always been a little bit like a little bit, you know. Yeah. I'm like my mother. Okay. My mother's quite like me as well, and so was my dad. My dad was like this too.
Okay.
So I was just brought up that way. But yeah, and then I was like, anyway, rounding it back, I came out at work and the vibes changed.
Oh.
Everyone turned up on me, not in like a really obvious way, but you know when you could just tell.
What, nasty?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you know when you could just tell people are talking about you behind your back.
Right. Yeah.
And it was very much like, listen, but you're such a beautiful girl. And they'd all have that, like, I mean, no judgment, but you're such a beautiful girl, though. What a waste.
What a waste. Oh,
I'd be like, I'm going to break into your home and kill you. I'm not, obviously. No, that's not the good Christian thing to do.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was leaving anyway. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to start uni, live my best life.
Yeah.
And then so that's my life up to now. I'm an engineering student, and I'm in my foundation year, and I've got loads of assignments due.
That's a massive jump. So you just told me that you decided you'd rather be a man. Is that the way to say it, or not?
I found out I was a man.
You found out that you were
Yeah.
You were inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
you're
outside did
male.
not match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're doing that, and then you're going to go to uni. That's a lot of going on, and your dad as well.
Oh yeah, very busy.
Wow.
Very
Okay.
busy.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long? Hang on. When did you come out as regular? I'm sorry, everybody.
Regular gay.
As gay.
No, you're fine.
Just a gay without trans.
So I'm not actually gay.
So you're not now.
No, I'm just
sorry,
very camp.
Oh.
I classify myself now as queer because I've noticed as testosterone enters my body, obviously it's doing a lot of things to my brain, my brain chemistry.
Okay.
Whilst I am generally, and I do mean this from the depth of my soul, I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Oh wow.
I'm the most stable, the most mentally sound, the most one with myself, one with my faith.
Like you know who you are. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
I now look at my previous self as I tend to refer to her as my sister.
Okay.
Because she did the best she could with what she had, and she did a good job at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a lot of respect for her and a lot of love for her, but I just want to lay her to peace, kind of thing.
And can we ask about your parents' reaction?
Yeah. So Dad was dead.
Oh, sorry.
He couldn't do it this time.
But do you think he knew?
No, God, no.
Yeah.
No.
He just knew that you were a very, very
everything
lively individual.
Yeah. Okay. It was always like, oh God, what's she done now? Kind of thing.
Okay.
Dad would have I think he would have gradually come round to it.
Okay.
But I think for the most part, he would have just ignored it and pretended that everything was fine.
Right,
and that's fine. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He was that kind of guy.
Can I ask what did he die from?
He had an aortic aneurysm.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
So he just,
And how old was he?
55.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm so sorry. That is horrendous.
It was diabolical. Yeah. Planned the funeral. You know, I'm still dealing with it today. Where like physically, solicitors, like we're in the process of selling the house. But yeah, that was intense.
Okay.
You never expect to, at the age of like, God, I must have been like 20, 21.
Yeah.
You're picking out your father's coffin, and you're like,
dear me.
You're like, you have to go and view the body, and you know.
Do you think, in a way, because he died so dramatically and awfully like that?
Yeah.
Do you think it made you reevaluate your life as well?
Don't even get me started.
Okay.
Yes, and this is one thing I'm really grateful to him for.
Yeah.
This experience has been diabolical.
Yeah.
It has been, oh my God. Like there were points where I was like literally driving myself insane. And then when I was like, well, realistically, if he died at 55, I'm 23 now, about to turn 24. I could be at my midlife.
Right.
I don't want to leave anything. It's part of the reason I quit that corporate job, because I would have just stayed there. I still would be there, wasting my life away, sending meaningless emails,
and feeling awful of the people around you, being awful.
Just draining
putting
my
up with it, and
making money that I very rarely saw any sort of cut off. Don't get me wrong, I was paid well for my age.
Yeah.
But I thought they're never going to let me go beyond this, ever, because of my personality, because they think, I don't fit into that idea of what they'd need.
Because you're so fun-loving and joyful. That's a crime in itself, isn't
fun-loving and joyful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's really kind.
Well, so that was kind of part of the process, I suppose, with your dad. Again, as awful as it was, it sort of, made you reevaluate and think, right, actually, well, of course, then you're going to come out, but then you didn't come out. It is really intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I guess no one's got a regular pathway in life, but yours was very irregular, yeah?
Oh, used to be a beautician, hairdresser.
Oh,
I've lived. I used to be a ballet dancer. I used to be a gym. I've lived lives.
That's why you got very good deportment. Yeah, I can tell the way you're sitting.
Thank you.
You're sitting like, I don't know, Darcy Bustle. No, not Darcy Bustle. Rudolph North. I don't know. I'm trying to think of him. I'm trying to think of Billy Elliot. No, I don't know.
Billy Elliot's vibe. Billy Elliot's vibe.
Billy Elliot.
That made me cry. That was a good show.
Just want to go to the ballet. No, just want to dance.
Just want to dance in the ballet.
Sorry, okay, that's my fault because I will get totally off track. Okay, right. Okay, so looking forward from here. Right, fantastic. So you're in your first year in uni. You're living here in the South Coast. You are working part-time over the road, which everyone knows and loves you for because you're part of the establishment, which happens to be opposite the church. Oh, I was going to ask you the church thing.
Yes.
So that was one of the conversations we had. Just again, this tram is not about faith, but kind of, it flows into many of our lives at different times. And as you know, I'm a Christian and married to the vicar. But what you were saying is that you never felt as though you could go into a church
terrified.
Okay, can you talk a bit about that?
Terrified. Yeah. So I didn't have like a traumatic like growing, like I grew up religious and it was wonderful. My first church experiences was in primary school, and we had, what's his name? It was something Richard.
Cliff Richard?
I wish. No.
Oh, sorry, Cliff Richard.
He really taught us. He was just one of the most lovely, kind, like not a bad bone in that man's body.
Okay.
The patience of a literal saint.
Wow. Okay.
Like the hell that us school children put that man through. I'm not even joking. Like
I can kind of imagine.
Like this poor man, and not once.
So was he like a local vicar or something?
Yeah. St. Paul's Church.
Okay. Okay.
Because I went to Beechcroft, St. Paul's.
Okay.
Down in Weymouth, and we'd go. I think it was either every Tuesday or every Thursday, or maybe both. But I remember just sitting in that and being so little in such like a vast space and looking up at the stained glass and just, it was beautiful. Going there every Christmas, every Easter, learning about everything. I didn't necessarily believe everything, of course, at the time, but it was such a pleasure.
Like a good grounding almost.
Yeah, and it was now that I'm obviously older, it was like a meditation. And then after that, I sadly got into secondary school and my life sort of fell apart a bit.
Right.
I struggled with addiction and like some really dark times. Then I got into recovery through NA, and then did that for about a year. Was sober for about a year. Obviously not anymore, but I now practice a lot more responsibly.
There's a difference, isn't there?
I'm a lot more responsible nowadays, especially now that I have things to lose as well, which makes a big difference.
Oh, that's sad though, isn't it? Thinking that's how bad it was.
Yeah. Oh, there was nothing there. I was an empty shell of a human being.
Wow.
I think never knowing who I truly was and not really having any time or mental capacity to indulge myself into that.
Okay.
No self-awareness, no nothing, because it was just so, you're always in survival mode and you're like, okay, when am I going to eat next? Like, do I have to hide from this? Am I going to have to like, anyway. I can't remember what I was talking about now.
About the church and about the nice vicar and your meditation, your spiritual kind of or journey, I suppose, isn't it?
So got into recovery, and then ever since then I've had my faith back, but I've always been kind of like, do I go back to church? Because the reason I stopped going to like NA meetings, because it was very you're very involved in each other's lives, and it was a bit like
too much.
It was a bit much. I'm very busy, don't really have time for that, with respect and love, of course. And I was like, well, if I start going to church again, is it going to be like that same thing that I had when I was younger, which was perfect for me when I was younger, when I needed that, when I needed that space. But as I got older, I was like, do I have? And then when I came out, I was like, they were going to hate me. That was the thing. I was like, I don't know.
That's an awful thought, isn't it?
I was terrified because I was like, there is nowhere for me to practice my faith with a group of people who are like me. And then even talking about it, I get scared because I'm like, there's always going to be like, and don't get me wrong, you are completely fine to have your own beliefs. I'm a firm believer in that. But then you get that, oh, well, God doesn't exist. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. That's your vibe. Yeah. Let me live, man. Like, it's what's helped me get through some of the hardest times. When Dad died, you really had to have something to grab onto. It's the only thing that kept me sane. Yeah. And I was like, just hearing that, you're like, yes, again. And it's just another thing on top of the trans thing. You're like, oh, Christian and trans, that's a weird mix. I'm like, yes, I know, I'm aware. Leave me alone.
Yeah. But it's kind of, it's just you, isn't it? It's not kind of, today I think I'll be trans.
Yeah, it's like, let me just choose.
What's the easy path? I'm sure this is going to be an easy path.
Because this is so easy.
Yeah,
of course. It's not like indefinitely expensive or anything, or like mentally exhausting, or like ruined relationships, or, little things.
So obviously you have come to our church now, and you even came, you came Easter Sunday, and you wore a really smart shirt.
I did. I was the only one dressed up. I was like, why am I the only one serving right now?
I have to say, my heart just skipped with joy. It was absolutely to see you there.
Lovely.
Because I know that what you said about, the fear of coming to church, but I'm so glad, because we all need to be a welcoming environment as Christians. And if we're not, then we should just give up, as far as I'm concerned.
Period, absolutely.
Because Jesus would say, "Oh, Iggy, will you come in?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Jesus can say that, then I think we should be saying that too.
Absolutely.
Anyway, right. So, well, I'm really glad you're here, obviously, today, here, sitting in this beautiful churchyard. So, going forward, now this might get a bit personal here. I don't know how personal it's going to get, but we can edit, or we haven't got to go there.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the medical side of it, about drugs and that? Because I find this all,
of course,
fascinating.
Yeah.
And I do have a very close friend whose son has now transitioning, and is now daughter. So I'm learning as much as I can, but again, I still think it's something we have to keep chipping away at, actually, you know, if we can. So drugs.
Yeah.
So what do you take?
So it wasn't until I was like 4 months into my coming out where I actually started on hormones, which is a lot sooner than most, I should add. Okay. I'm very, very lucky in a way, in the sense that because of the job I had and because of the savings I had, I was able to pay privately for my transition, which is really inaccessible for the majority of trans folks.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
Hugely.
Wow.
I am incredibly blessed to have a loving family. This is all important context for the medical side of transitioning, because if you don't have that support network, transitioning medically is it's rough.
And would you get that far as well? I mean,
this is what I mean. It is rough.
Yeah.
So I started with testosterone gel, which is sort of a mid to low dosage, depending on how many sachets you take. So it's literally just a gel that you put on your inner wrists and then rub on your upper your upper arms. Just
there. It's like my HRT.
It is HRT, so it's hormone replacement therapy.
Okay, right.
Except yours is
mine's estrogen.
Estrogen, mine's testosterone.
Okay, swapsies.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I've now switched to, because you have to do that every day.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of getting in the way of me wanting to do things. Like, it's the smell.
Excuse me, I just have to go and do my...
Yeah, let me just do this. Like, I went to a festival and I was like, yeah, let me just rub on my testosterone gel. Great. Let me just daily remind myself that I'm, you know, doing this. And I was like, it's weirdly, like, at the time it's so small, but it builds up and you're like, I'm tired. Also, it's like extra effort, making sure you're up at the same time every day to do the same thing, to replicate the same male cycle of testosterone in the body.
Okay, gosh.
And I was like, can't be bothered. So recently I've switched to intramuscular injections of testosterone.
Right, okay.
So I take specifically Sustanon, which is a brand of testosterone.
Right.
And I take 1 milliliter every 3 weeks into the top of my butt cheek.
Into the buttock.
Into my buttock.
Yeah.
But you can get it subcutaneously, which is into the fat. So that's usually done like here.
Yeah.
Intramuscular can obviously done in the thigh, but you have the least amount of nerve endings in your butt cheek.
In your butt cheek.
And I have to get friends to do it for me because I'm scared.
Okay. Well, I'm a nurse, so the offer's there. Yeah.
Are you?
I wasn't. That's not about me.
Anyway,
But yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I will be calling on you.
With a needle. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I've been doing recently. That's been way better for me.
Okay.
I've noticed a more intense change, which is great.
Rather than the gel, actually.
Yeah, because I've been wanting, like, come on, let's step this up. So it was an increase of dosage anyway, so it probably would have happened with the gel regardless.
So what should happen, or what is happening to you?
Okay. So basically, the easiest way to put it is just imagine a teenage boy puberty.
Okay.
That's
right.
it.
Okay.
It's literally it.
Are you annoying? And
yes.
Do you
I've always been annoying.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's like being a teenage boy as a 23-year-old.
Okay.
But what's crazy is I've had 20 something years of female experience.
Yes.
So I kind of,
yeah.
What's really frustrating is when I fully pass, which will be a number of years, of course, I'm going to be one of those really annoying short guys that's like, no, I know the female experience, and I'm so scared because at one point I'm going to be like, I don't have to explain the fact that I'm like, no, I get it because I've lived I've lived my life as a woman. I understand, but at the same time I don't want to out myself, so I'm just gonna have to really zip it and just be a quiet ally.
But that might be helpful to somebody. You never don't know.
You never know. Maybe. I mean, you know.
So it's because you're going through puberty and you're older slightly. So you are going through things which, you know, I guess kids these days, if they can access it, obviously have it before puberty. Is that right?
Oh, see, this is the thing, and this will get me mad.
Okay.
So, this country is not really a fan of trans people. Okay. There have been recent legislations that I will not get into.
Yes.
Purely because I will only speak on something if I am able to take my emotion out of it, so I can come up with clear, concise arguments and have intelligent conversation about something. What I'm not going to do is start crying because I'm so upset about something. But I will say the recent legislation has really affected my community, both FTM, which is female to male, and M2F, which is male to female. Female to male, rather. No, you get what I mean. Really, really negatively affected my community. And the whole idea was to keep biological women safe, when in actuality, it's actually cause further danger, because public transport police are now able to say to anyone that identifies as a woman, hey, who are anyway.
It is rough, isn't it?
So protect the dolls first and foremost. Women are always going to have it harder, including trans women, because they are women. And I'm lucky in a sense that in about 5 years' time I'll be a little bit short, but so is Bruno Mars. He's 5'4". I will be essentially indistinguishable from just your average guy, unless you're going to take out a blood test and check my chromosomes, or however they check for them.
And hopefully that will never happen, obviously.
Of course. But it sucks.
So hormones currently.
Yes, and then on the 8th of July, I have my top surgery.
Wow, now this is huge, right?
Yes, this is massive. Humongous.
I need to have a sip as well.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Okay.
So of course, all paid for by myself, because the NHS waiting list is currently about a decade long, and at least 3 years for a consultation. Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Wow.
Anywho, so I am flying off to Lithuania.
Oh gosh.
With a really cool clinic.
Right.
And they've done some of my friends at the tattoo studio up the road.
Okay, so
with,
you've
like,
got
excess
that
skin
personal
removal.
sort of
got that connection.
Yeah,
they're super cool. My mum's coming with me. She's stunning. We love my mum. Big up Sally.
Yeah. Sal.
Come on, Sal, innit? So she will be coming out with me. I won't need that much taken care of. Chances are a nurse comes around every day to check how I am.
Okay.
If anyone's wondering, I've been in therapy for 1.5 years. I am completely aware of what I'm doing, and I know it's the correct decision for me.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
That tends to be the biggest argument of things.
Yeah.
But are you mentally sound? I'm like, yes, the most mentally sound I've ever been.
So, regarding to healing to that surgery, was it several months, I imagine, is it things to...
So, a minimum of 6 weeks.
Okay.
So my butcher's dog have been absolutely outstanding with this. One of our owners, Laura, who is the daughter-in-law to our proper owner, John, who has also been absolutely stunning with this, may I add.
Okay.
John is adorable. Side note, John is adorable because he'll walk up to me and be like, "You are beautiful." I can't say that anymore. And I'm like, "No, John, I am beautiful. You can say that, babe."
Oh, that's so sweet, though.
And he does this thing where we're walking, he's like, "You're like Jesus." And I'm like, "Yeah, John, hi." I love him.
Say up to it.
He does it in his own way, and I absolutely love that.
But that's part of acceptance, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so I messaged Laura and I was like, "Hey, Queen, gonna have to book off this amount of time. I just want to make sure that I have a job when I come back." And she was like, all in capitals, "Of course you can."
Oh, wow.
Like, Laura, I love you.
That's amazing.
She's so wonderful. This is the best job I've ever had. I love our patrons. I love my colleagues. I met one of my best friends in the entire world here.
Right.
Who I'm her fairy godfather, because I do her hair and her makeup and pick out dresses with her.
Fantastic.
And come to the tailor with her.
I'm taking note for these things.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't do it myself because it's just weird on myself now. But for others,
great.
It's great. I love it. Obviously very campy still. Can't get rid of that, but I'm not really mad at it.
Okay. So that's amazing. So then I guess you just see how you are, because there isn't like a rush to go any further, is there? Or do you, like you said, can you imagine 3 years before?
I'm kind of, after top surgery, I have a feeling I'll be fine. Because bottom dysphoria isn't really a huge thing for me. It's mainly just my chest. It's mainly what I can see when I look in the mirror.
Because I thought, to be honest, you had surgery. Because
I know.
Yeah, sorry.
I love that for you.
But again, I didn't realise. But yeah.
My voice is dropping.
Okay.
I do speak about hang on. If I speak a bit more like in my natural tone, it's a bit lower.
Yeah. But when you get excited and hyper, it goes
but
up.
I'm like, oh my god, but the voice is cracking.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
That's quite cute though. It's endearing.
It's not endearing when you go, yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah, sound. Because obviously at the pub I'm like, yeah, you're right. Got a pint of bog for? Go on then, mate. Yeah. How's the football? What's football look like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm like, oh my god. It's like whenever like the girls come in, I'm like, hi babe, what are you saying? How's your day been?
But you're a person for all the people.
Yeah. It's I do tend to put on it's very I like to put on a bit of a theatrical accent. I'm a thespian by nature, darling. Do you know?
No, she said thespian. I said
Witch!
No, can we cut that?
No, keep it in. I knew I was going to get you.
I was thinking lesbian. It'll get it wrong. But you know what I mean.
Lesbian.
Lesbian. Oh dear me. Okay. So that's surgery and hormone. But you said you're happy. Hopefully you'll be happy then, and see how you get on. And then okay, fantastic. So can I ask you again? This might be too personal. I don't know, but I really want to know.
You're fine.
Relationships then.
Yeah.
As in, physical.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it straightforward or not?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So
I don't need details, by the way. It's just kind of.
Oh, I was ready. I was like, yes, I'm actually a power top. Actually,
I'm an old lady. Don't shock me.
You're okay.
No, it's okay. Okay. So how does it work for you?
For me, okay. It really just depends on the person that I'm with. Can't have any committed relationships purely for the fact that I am so busy. And it's not fair to that other person.
Okay.
Or me, really.
Yeah,
it stresses me out.
And you've got enough going on.
I got enough going on. Oh, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have mainly been with men for like a long while. And then
okay.
Kind of gotten to that point where I'm like, did I ever like you, or have you always just been a home slice? Were we just supposed to be besties?
Okay.
And this is something I've struggled with, and I think about all the female relationships I have, and I'm like, well, was I in love with you?
Yeah, okay.
And that's why I was so upset about our friendship ending, kind of thing.
Right.
Which is a very common experience for queer people, I guess. But generally speaking, I try and not go for anyone completely straight, purely because there's an element of, unless you were like so up there with education, you're just not going to get the same vibe.
No, sure.
It's the same if you're not dating if you're not dating like another trans person, which is why a lot of trans people do like T for T, which is trans for trans, because there's less need to explain what's going on.
Okay.
And there's never a doubt of like acceptance or like, is this person just trying to turn me back into a woman, which is worryingly common.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's a whole different world,
it's
isn't it?
So weird. Yeah.
Wow.
But it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
so you literally will fall in love with a person down. They used to call this pan, didn't they?
Pansexual.
Is that still has that gone?
That is still a thing. No.
So pan being anybody.
Yeah.
You could be a man or woman, but that's
vibes.
The person I follow. Yeah.
Solely on vibes.
Okay.
I think I might be right. Wikipedia.
Google it. That's what it means to you. But I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. The person. Right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So currently we're just trotting along on your own.
I'm
great friends.
To one individual who's a model up in London currently, but issue is I'm not able to actively communicate what's best for them, because they go by they them. They are stunning. We love them. Anyway, not to go into too much detail. Yeah, because I'm so busy, I really struggle with communication. Like when I do talk, it's great, but I only get like 10 minutes of like decent conversation, and then I have to run off and go do something else, and I have to like put out a load of fires somewhere, or like I have to go. Yeah. I'm tired.
Can I ask you about the they, he, she pronoun thing? Because again, as my daughter and my family, I'm trying really hard to get this right.
Yeah.
But you are
he, him.
He, him.
Yeah.
Not they.
Not super obvious.
Okay.
I don't blame you. Most people look at me currently and just go, "Oh, lesbian," and I don't blame them for that.
No, because I thought he.
I love that.
So that's me.
So validating.
So I don't know how confused I am. No, seriously, I don't know. So is that a real personal choice then? Whether you want to be
up to that person.
Okay.
The best you can do is, I'm fairly sure, I can only speak for myself, but the majority of my community will be, if you get a pronoun wrong, it's not a big deal. Just correct yourself and move on.
Okay.
The more you go like, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's like, love you for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's honestly not that deep.
Okay, so just
the only thing we don't like is when it's said in malice.
Oh right, yeah.
But like,
okay.
no one in my life would do that.
No,
because
well,
if they would, they wouldn't be in my life.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I curate this. Like
Yeah.
the people I choose to have around me are the people I know that love me, and at least have some semblance of respect for me.
Yes, absolutely.
And gladly, I'm glad to say, I think in this area specifically, most people have a general respect for each other, which is why I like living here so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get stared at when I walk around a little bit.
But that's because you're so
That's because I'm so
handsome,
fabulous,
gorgeous,
darling.
beautiful. I'm using everything I can throw in here
course.
to get it right. Yeah.
Thank you. All the
Stunning.
adjectives.
Yeah, all the
Thank
adjectives,
you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What was I going to ask you? I was going to ask you something. Oh, obviously I've got the big question to ask you, which I did message to you about.
Yeah.
Should we do that now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Right, Iggy. Iggy. Cool name.
Chase it myself.
What would you like your legacy to be? What when you 150 years from now, when you're maybe, or hopefully, in some much better place, not here, sitting here with me, So when you're gone, what would you like people to look back and think, oh, Iggy, duh, or Iggy made me feel duh, or whatever? What would your legacy? What would you like your legacy to be?
I would love to. Obviously, we know I'm doing engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only in foundation year, so I've got a long way to go. But I would like to combine a lot of the art I've had and a lot of the mechanical aspects of what I'm learning together. And all I want to do is better my community, and that's not just the trans community.
Right.
I want to, even if it's down to like the smallest thing, I want to make something that's good for everybody, and I don't want myself to be remembered for it.
Okay.
I just want that thing to have an everlasting benefit to the people who use it or who are around it.
So are we talking like a physical thing now? That you're going, you might build a monument.
I might build
I don't know.
Like I had an idea of trying to make a mechanical aspect to like prosthetic limbs and stuff, which has already been done.
Okay.
I should add. But I had a sick idea of making it gasoline fueled, so it's like super dangerous.
Are we talking Terminator here?
Kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
But like super fun.
Okay.
I want to create whimsy. I want to put whimsy into the world. And
that's you as well, isn't it? So you're already combining those two things, aren't you? Whimsicalness, and obviously very artistic, highly intelligent.
Oh, you
full of life, which I do like. I have to say, because being a bit blah myself, I love it. Like kindred spirits. Is
it? Yeah, I get what you mean.
But that's amazing. There's something lasting. That people, so it's almost to make for a better future.
Just the little things, the little bit of joy that you get. You could walk down the street and you could see two little birds meeting on a branch.
Yeah.
That kind of joy.
Okay.
Where, like, it's a hot day and a little bit of breeze blows.
Okay.
Like something real small, but happens every single day without you even clocking it.
That's amazing.
Something just real small.
The thing is, you have lived already so much through your life. I think we could probably talk another 5-6 days, maybe. Yeah? So maybe we'll come back and do a part 2 or something, or maybe post surgery.
That would be fun.
I don't know.
Surgery.
Also medical.
Yes. My voice would have dropped further then as well. I could be like, hi Heidi.
Hello.
Hi Heidi. Hi Mama.
That would be so cool.
That would be cool.
But anyway, well, I think we'll stop there because again we could go on. But oh my word. This has been fantastic. Iggy, I'm so grateful to you and for opening up to me and to the vast viewing public.
Of
course.
And community.
If anybody has got questions and they want to leave them kind comments and questions.
I can take the mean ones too. Let's go.
Okay, but I'm asking for kindness. But obviously put them below and I will take them to Iggy because obviously we have established that I am new at this.
You killed it.
But with you,
but
it's really joyful. I'm going to say to my filming crew, great interview, guys. Yeah,
you guys did so good.
Yeah, it's really good. So thank you for joining us, and please subscribe,
like, comment, share,
do all that stuff. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.